Hello everyone, it's Emily here from Phoenix Gateway. How are we today? I am very well, thank you. I'm here to do a general weekly read for the 27th of March to the 2nd of April. I'm working with my Sacred Geometry Healing cards. These are available on my website. I will personally assign all cards that are purchased through me. Also would like to just mention my lab, my liquid alchemy in a bottle, which are high vibrational frequencies that have been created to nurture, balance and heal mind, body and soul. They are a beautiful water frequency. If you go on to my website www.phoenixgateway.com.au, you will find at the top of the home page a PDF that can be downloaded, and you can have a look further into the lab product as well as why they work so well. Okay, so I'm going to put them to the side. And one other thing before I get started is in October of this year, 2023, from the 9th to the 23rd of October, I am running a tour to Egypt with Youssef Uyan. It is the Seeds of Kemet, reconnecting to the primordial waters. And it's going to be a sensational tour. I'm really looking forward to going back, and I have got that under a different website, so I'm keeping the tours I do separate. Is www.seedofthesoul.com, and actually if you go into the blog part of that as well, you can see the actual template that I created for Seed of the Soul before I decided to go and look at starting to do tours, because it's where I'm feeling very aligned to creating and expanding not only my growth and my knowledge, but to assist others as well, and assisting others and helping them in activating and nurturing their journey of self-healing and self-discovery. So the 27th of March to the 2nd of April, I wanted to start off really more so just telling you about I want to talk about transformation. And the reason I want to do this is because I was playing with a deck of cards by collector Baron Reed. So when I'm not playing cards of my own, I like to actually pull cards from this particular deck. This is probably the only other deck that I really like to work with, just because I find it very easy to understand, and it just really aligns with how I think and I feel. Anyway, a couple of days ago, I have to say since last week, I have just really found myself all over the shop, feeling that bit ungrounded, questioning everything that is going on a bigger scale, as well as then what's going on within me, my journey, where I am, where I'm meant to be, where I'm looking at heading, what I am looking at creating. And when I get too caught up with everything else that is going on in the external world, I really find that it really starts to really muck up my nervous system. And so one of the main things that I really like to do is actually take my shoes off and go and sit on my land, and just to reconnect that way. I love to also have a bath in magnesium, and I use bicarb as well. It's another beautiful way if you have a bathtub and you're just feeling that the electrical currents within your body are just a little bit out of whack. It's just a lovely way to work as well. And then there is pulling a few cards. So I guess it was just like yesterday morning going, okay, where am I meant to be? What am I meant to be doing? And I'd pulled a couple of cards, and I actually literally pulled 2 out of the 3 cards that I pulled yesterday before I started this reading, and you know, I just can't go past it. And this is why I was thinking about transformation, because what came through was butterfly spirit. So firstly, apart from transformation, we're looking at the number 11. 11 is all about new beginnings, it's about balance, it's about leadership. It is a master number, number 11. It's that true connection into our spirit, into spirit as well. And then the other card I will talk about, because it's also an 11, so 65 is an 11, okay? We're working with Whale Spirit, Whale Medicine. It's about trusting in the great mystery. And the third card that actually came through today, so is taking a leap of faith, Grasshopper Spirit. So before I actually get into these cards, I do have to say, and I've actually still got the photo of it. I went about 2 weeks ago, I had to go fill up with petrol. It was night time, pulled up at the servo, started filling up with petrol, looking at my roof going, there's a grasshopper on my roof. This grass is pitch black. Like, this grasshopper had pretty much hitched a ride with me from where I was in Carnegie, I think, that night, and got home, and I just had to smile, but I also had to take a photo after I finished filling up with fuel, just to go, oh my God, like, this grasshopper has actually, you know, jumped on board and hitched a ride. And by these cards, it's taking a leap of faith. I also know grasshopper can be looked at about just going within, slowing things down. It's about that meditating and just allowing, you know, to be. And, you know, I'm like, so when I looked at these cards again, and I pulled the butterfly spirit yesterday, and what I kept thinking about was transformation. You know, this card says transformation is beautiful. I already wrote in my news article last week about dragonfly energy and what it represents to me. And it was really, really beautiful. So I see there's a very similar energy when it comes to transformation here. And what I found started happening yesterday, there was a few things that I guess in my head, it's like, you know, I'm always looking for signs, something to tell me I'm on the right path. You've just got to allow it to happen. You've got to, you know, we have to go with the flow. It's not that I'm sitting on my ass doing absolutely nothing, because I've been doing plenty behind the scenes with where I want to be going. But sometimes it just doesn't come to you. It doesn't fall on your lap the way you want it to all come and piece together. And, you know, there's so many external influences at the moment as well, which makes it a lot harder, or maybe challenging can be a word, you know, for you know, not just myself, but for others to get to where they're looking at going. So there were 3 main signs that came for me yesterday, and I was just like blown away. It started off when I took my granddaughter and my niece for lunch. The number that the lady gave me for our table was the number 8. 8 is all about manifesting. It's about what you want to create, what you want to bring into your life, and dreaming it into being. You know, it's about creating our thought processes and really focusing on that. Then I'm sitting there and I watched this younger lady walk in, and I've looked at her leg and she had a tattoo of a dragonfly, and I've gone, okay, there's a sign again. And for anyone that has been following me with my tour is actually, dragonfly plays a significant role, because it really has been dragonfly that has brought me to where I am at this present moment. And then I was following a car, and on the number plate was a 88, and I'm going, okay, there's the 8s again. But the last number plate that really blew me away was, it had 4 8s, and the initial was EA, or EA. For anyone that also follows exopolitics or understands a little bit more about it, EA is also the other name for Enki. And he is one of the brothers, the Anunnaki brothers. There was Enki and Enlil. And, you know, from everything that I've been watching, the people that I follow, you know, Enki is back on the scene again. Enki is back in our, you know, in our solar solar system. And, you know, the only thing I feel like I need to say in particular about him at this present moment is he's a biogeneticist. And he actually gave Adam and Eve. So Adam and Eve were not the first man and woman on this earth, okay? There were the Homo, the other forms of Homo sapiens prior to the Adam and Eve. But the difference is that Enki really gave Adam and Eve consciousness. He gave them Kundalini energy through the snake. He also gave the activation of consciousness because he gave them the apple being the pineal gland and activating consciousness. So it gave them the ability to be able to think for themselves and know that they will be able to expand in their awareness over time, which then means that they will also expand density and dimension. And it gave me a feeling of a sense of security, because it was like, okay, you know, seeing that number plate was telling me, it was nearly like for me, it's just saying you've just got to trust, you know, you've got to trust in the great mystery, because we don't know what the outcome is. Yes, what we see is a lot of shit going on. What we see is a lot of negativity, you know, even though I get to a point with that human aspect of me, when things get overwhelming, I go, oh my God, like, where is the ending of all this? When is this going to finish? You know, where are we going to see more light coming in over the darkness that is being, you know, pushed through media and, you know, through our governments and whatnot. And this is, you know, this sort of reading brings me to that point where I go, you know what? You need to make your own decisions. This is where you need to use discernment, and you need to, you know, really ask yourself, what is it that you're reading into too much? What is it that, you know, when you come up from an eagle's standpoint, you know, and looking down, what is it that you're truly looking at? What is it that, you know, what is it that really is truth? Because this is where dragonfly also comes in, because dragonfly is about the truth transcending illusion, okay? And it is so, so true. You know, we have to bring ourselves back. It's okay to feel vulnerable, because we are human. It's part of the human experience, but it's also understanding that you've got to snap out of it at some point and go, okay, you know what? We get shown so many signs. I've just told you about signs. Another thing that happened to me last week, and I wrote about it again in my newsletter, is about the 741 hertz frequency. Now, 741 is all about releasing, it's our soul's expression, and it's releasing toxicity from your body. It's toxicity not only from your body, but the toxicity of people around you, which also, you know, don't help. Well, they change your frequency when you're around these sort of people. You've got to ask, are these the people you want to be a part of? The business partners that you are dealing with, are these the people you want to deal with? You know, we can't choose our family, but doesn't mean that we have to be hanging around every family member that is our blood. Okay, so really, really important to take that on board when it comes to with what I've just said. Coming back to the number 741, 3 signs I got all in one day. Okay, I was driving down the road. The first number plate I see is whatever, 741. I've gone, oh, 741, I know that. That's a solfeggio frequency. Driving along, less than 2 minutes later, another number plate. And I kid you not, it was another 741, totally different car. And I've gone, I think there's a message here. I think there's something that I just need to really let go of. And driving, I've got home later that day. I was looking for a message that a girlfriend of mine had sent me, and I found the message, looked at the time it was sent. At the time it was 7:41. I'm like, that's it. Went to my solfeggio frequency, my elixirs, I may have spoken about this, I can't remember now. I took out the 741 hertz and I started ingesting it, and I ingested enough of it until I felt that what I needed to let go of was released. So I've done quite a bit of talking, and to be honest, I felt like I wanted to talk more than I did wanting to pull cards, because I feel that sharing my story and how I, you know, the signs and the messages that I get might help others, you know, on a daily basis as well. It's about seeing the signs, and the more we're seeing, it's because we're shifting our awareness. Awareness is consciousness, okay? And when we start to shift our consciousness, it is amazing what you start to see. You know, you start seeing beyond the veil, beyond the illusion. All right. Now, I'm feeling these two coming up, having spoken about the 741, the 417, and the inner child. I am going to suggest to some that are watching this that what this is saying is that there is some past trauma, childhood trauma that you have endured. It is going to be very, very different for everyone who is watching this reading. My suggestion is to maybe sit, if you either are very aware of what it is when I talk about this, or maybe it is that you just need to sit. You need to actually nurture your inner child. You're going to need to acknowledge it. There is some form of traumatic experience that is associated with the inner child or your childhood, and it's something that needs to be released. Okay, it's maybe something. It's really interesting. So you've got 417, the 741, and the 174. They're all part of the same triangle. You're dealing with the 7 and 1 is an 8, and then you've got the 4, which is a 12. So you're dealing with the number 3, because they're all associated to the 3, the 6, or the 9. So really, really interesting when you're doing this. Okay, you're here to release this trauma that is a part of your inner child. My suggestion is working with the 741. You can listen to these frequencies. You can look at purchasing elixirs, however you choose to do it. You can have these cards and you can work with the actual card on your body, okay? Or it can also be a visualization. But it's a necessity at this point, knowing that there's something that you now need to let go of as you are expanding your awareness, okay? And for you to create that growth and that expansion, it's really, really imperative that you let go of this trauma that you are holding on to. It's not about forgetting, it's about forgiving. And that's where the 174 comes in. It's the Ho'opono, which is sorry, please forgive me, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you, okay? And a really, really powerful Hawaiian mantra to work with. First and foremost, forgiveness of self, and then forgiveness of others. Look, there you go, there's your 174, okay? It's knowing that you are safe and loved, all right? But it is time to release that trauma you are holding on to. It's all about matters of the heart. It's coming back into that heart space. It's about the unconditional love, and the unconditional love first and foremost that you are giving to yourself. Very much a matter of nurturing you, and this is going to also assist you with your optimal health and well-being. See, when we hold on to trauma, it sits in our body energetically, okay, but it will eventually become dis-ease on a physical level. It may affect you emotionally or mentally as well, okay, because it will create a lot of lower vibrational emotions, energies in flow that do not serve you. And this is stuff that you've really, really, really got to let go of, because we're no longer at that lower vibration. We're going higher and higher and higher. We're working with those higher vibrations now. So again, the 2A5 is all about our optimal health and well-being. It's also about cellular healing. Maybe, you know, you've had surgery or you've been feeling really sick, and now you're at that point where it's time to start healing your body. It's knowing your body is your temple. Maybe it's also telling you that you need to start changing how you eat. You know, you've got to eat more light, maybe as in more plant foods. It doesn't necessarily mean that either. It might just mean on a level of you need to eat more unprocessed foods, so more meats, fruits, veggies, okay, and grains, but you know, taking out your processed bread, like foods like your breads and your pastas and whatnot. All right, just gonna get one more card and leave it there because we're already at the 20-minute mark. You know, I'm gonna take them both, and you know why? Because we have the 741. So after everything I've said, you know, Spirit is wanting you to know that this is really what it's all about, okay? You have the 417 and you have the 174 and you have the 741. They're all part of that same triangle, which equates to a 3. The 741 is your soul's expression, your highest expression of self. This is what we've got to listen to. Listen to your gut. Listen to your intuition. What is your intuition telling you to do? What are you being told to now let go of that you no longer need to hold on to? What is still pulling you down that no longer serves you? Really look into this, the 741. Because after that, you have shapeshifter. And shapeshifter is telling us that we have all the innate knowledge and wisdom within our cellular, within our cells, okay? This is where it all sits. When we start to shift when we start to shift in consciousness, so we're shifting our thought processes, our emotional state, maybe we've changed our whole diet. This is saying that you can shift and be whoever it is that you choose to be, okay? We can shapeshift in that aspect. And at the end of the day, what is happening is the phoenix. All right? This is taking hold because it's understanding that inevitable change is here. We may not see it yet. You know, that's the other thing. It's a bit like the butterfly. It's a bit like, you know, when we look at, say, the flower of life. It's in that cocoon stage. We have to trust in the process, okay? Because we don't all know what's coming next. But we have to put out the positive thoughts. And it's as a reminder to myself, big time as well, but putting out that positivity, letting go of the dregs and that shit that we hold on to, because it's saying that Phoenix is here, the Phoenix is rising. This is all our new beginnings. This is an 11, okay? It's a birth, death, rebirth, and it's also the stage of the dragonfly. It's all that aspect of Phoenix. It's that Osirian energy as well. It's saying that there's fertile land ahead of what we can see, but we have to believe it. We can't be dragged in to what they want us to see on the external level, and on the internal level we have to use discernment. We have to use our intuition, because our intuition is the GPS of our soul. And if we really follow our gut, we go with that inner knowing, okay? As the shapeshifter says, it's that inner knowledge and the inner wisdom, or the ancient wisdom that we already contain within ourselves. I'd love to hear, you know, if you get any messages, please feel free to leave anything below. On the YouTube, on this reading, I'm also going to be putting all the links that I spoke about earlier. But if you are interested in the cards or my lab products, www.phoenixgateway.com.au, and the amazing, sensational tour that is occurring in October with Yosef Oyan to Egypt. Okay, you can go onto www.seedofthesoul.com and you can find out all about it there. I wish you well, have a beautiful week, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.